Hi, I'm Ross. I'm a partner in the corporate team.
Hi, I'm Kirstie. I'm a partner in the private client team. What made you choose law?
Well, so the thing that I think is quite interesting about our profession is the way in which law effectively touches on everything. So when you go into it, you can kind of know that there will be a particular industry or sub-vertical that you have an interest in, and law will be a route to go into that. So whether that's family law, whether that's private client, whether that's life sciences and life, whether it's criminal law, whatever it might be, there's all of these different ways in which you can use that skill set to get into an industry that you really enjoy.
You were really thoughtful about your choice in law. I'll tell you why I did it, because very simple, my lovely late dad, when I was at school, very young age, said, I really think, and he was a black cab taxi driver. So yeah, and he said, lawyer, that's what you really need to be. And of course, wanting to just always make my dad happy, I thought, okay, and I just set off. But it was actually, and so in lots of ways he shaped me because he set me on that path. But actually it was during that journey when I was doing it. And actually what I really love is people. I've always loved to make connections. I've always loved to try and feel that you're making a difference in some part. And actually during the journey of following what my dad wanted me to do, I actually realised that it was meant to be. So somewhere he must have, I'd like to think he'd recognise why. But yeah, that's how I got to it.
Well, so you were obviously a really good negotiator from a very young age. You picked up on that.
No.
Well, the first of my 3 deals ever all went to the litigators. All of them.
Oh.
Yeah, which was quite a sobering moment in terms of, there was nothing that we did wrong, but it was a real learning moment for me in terms of just understanding how, when this stuff gets unpicked, like having to stand there and justify exactly what it is that you've done and why you've done it and what you meant, was really, really important for me.
I guess mine actually was more, it was more actually about, I had a really brilliant coach really, really early on, before in the early years when I was thinking about partnership, and she gave me the best piece of advice, which I still use today, and I think it really has shaped me into how I go about, and that was, what's the worst that can happen? And it was, and it was really shaped me in terms of leaning into things, how I approach matters internally, externally, and I still give that piece of advice today to everyone coming up. Actually, what's the worst that can happen? Just go for it. I actually don't have a playbook, so I don't believe there is one. I think it's more go as you go.
All of these different, jobs that come to us, different clients, they've all got different dynamics, all slightly different circumstances. I think the thing is, particularly now in an age of like AI, just delivering all this kind of, advice very quickly, like being able to deliver that well, being able to adapt to it and to sort of like tailor it for the right circumstances is really important, I think. I don't think you can write that down in the playbook.
I think also really randomly, it's normally either on my commute or in my shower, like genuinely. And I think I definitely thrive off having the brainstorming sessions, and we regularly on matters, we'll get the team together, we'll sit down, we'll talk about it, but I then need to take it away. And I think it's just that reflection time that's so important.
I agree. When things aren't so busy and you just have a chance to just sort of like sit back, reflect, yeah, 100%.
For me, that is quite an easy one. It was quite early on, and I saved an estate literally for the nation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I have to hear more about that, to be fair. So what? Which nation?
It was Northern Ireland, basically. You can go and visit it today, and it was part of the testator's long-running wish, but it had to be done in a really commercial way, so it was quite unique. Many years of negotiating it. Yeah, I actually saved a little bit of history. I quite like that.
That is good. Well, I was on secondment. One of the secondments I did was to an investment bank, and there was a deal that we'd worked on for about 6 months, trying to get an IPO away. It was pretty difficult structuring anyway. But it all came down to that last moment of pricing, and I can't go into it, but there were like various different complications and stuff, and just delivering at that moment was really, really important. And for the whole time I was at that investment bank, the whole of my kind of reputation within the bank kind of like centered around that kind of morning of work.
I think it's about the joining of the dots. It's like a journey, and I guess I was thinking back to, the piece of work that's on my desk at the moment and where that came from and how that connection worked. And it all stemmed actually from my internal connection, because that was actually my mentor many years ago, retiring, introducing me to an intermediary. Got to know that said intermediary. Actually, he ended up giving me a piece of personal advice, so I made a really good connection then. Then managed to introduce me to a client of his that involved lots of travel and visits to a palace. So that was quite cool. And then that led to 2 family offices being introduced to me, and that's led to a big mandate that's on my desk at the moment that I'm running a piece of work. So and those all, that's over a period of years, but it's all the dots that join together in that connection, which started way back when.
I'm in the wrong area. Where was the palace?
I probably can't say.
Can't say where the palace.
I would say it's absolutely putting yourself in the client's shoes and stopping to listen to them. So for me, I guess looking to the future, I am super excited about just building on the amazing platform that we have at the moment in private wealth. And again, it's a real privilege, and it's brilliant to be part of such a market-leading team, but the ability to actually build that out and grow something together, I'm super, super excited about that.
It feels like we're at a real inflection point in this industry right now. There's obviously like a wave of AI coming in. There's a whole load of questions around how that's going to impact on the delivery of legal advice, how people coming into the professions are going to be supported and able to learn going forward. But it really also just emphasizes the importance of understanding and knowing the law and applying it is one thing, but to your point, how you actually deliver it, how you kind of, make sure that the clients then get what they need is really, really important. And you can't write that with AI.
That was really good fun. Thanks, Ross.
Yeah, no, thanks, Kirstie.